All right, so this is to quickly cover the Sprite Mover program. First off, I'm going to go through and demonstrate all the function features aside from escape in the Unity window itself in order to display the capabilities of the sprite. So starting off, without holding down the shift, I'm going to go ahead and hit the various direction keys. And as you can see from the transform information fields in the side window, you can see that it quickly moves the X and Y. Then holding down the shift, you can see it moves the X and the Y a single unit. Finally, hitting the P, you can hear that I'm slamming on buttons, but it's not causing the ship to move. Toggling P again, and we're right back to it going hyperspeed from 0 to nothing immediately. And then the last thing is you're going to be able to see when I hit it is the Q button to disable the micro sprite. And all that takes is just hitting Q, and as you can see, the micro sprite becomes grayed out in the hierarchy, indicating that it's been disabled. So for the last demonstration of the sprite movers, I'm actually going to build and run the sprite mover in order to demonstrate the final functionality of the escape key.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I took my daughter to the bathroom. What are you doing?
I'm actually filming my YouTube video for it. So there
Oh,
it is going off the
apologize.
screen. That's okay. There it is going up and down. There's space returning it to where it began. There's the shift key taking it up, taking it down, one unit at a time, right, left. I'm also going to use the WASAD, which I added the functionality for using OR statements. And then I'm going to just hit the escape key to quit the application. And that's it. So now to take a run through the code. A lot of this is unnecessary. Pretty much all of these 3 lines right here are just added because Microsoft Visual Studios likes throwing in additional scripts even when it accidentally does the autocompletes. But we have the game object this ship, which is able to import a reference to game object from Unity. This one is transform, which is able to pick up the transform from the object the script is attached to, and this one is able to pick up a speed variable or a fixed speed rate from the object it's attached to. Private boolean here is kind of important because it allows me to toggle the movement for the ship on or off, and it's actually one of the first variables used in the update method in the update subroutine itself, or method. Depends on which language you're coming from and which terminology you use. So first things first, in the update method we have the toggle for can move, and that's triggered when you depress the P. It will not trigger repeatedly because it's been using the get key down. So until the P key is released, it will not re-execute this this if statement. And if can move ship is true, can move ship becomes false. If can move ship is false, can move ship becomes true. Then the if statement for all of the ship movement encapsulates all of the ship movement itself, including the relocate back to origin. From there, we have it check for holding down the shift. And as you can see here, I used a pipeline to make it so that it could accept left shift or right shift as a valid shift entry. And other than that, you have your up axis, up in W, your negative Y axis, down in S, your negative X axis, left in A, your positive X axis, right in D. And for each of these, because Unity is only supposed to move the sprite 1 unit, it's been hard-coded it as 1 into the code itself. So as you can see, for the positive y-axis and the negative y-axis, the vector numbers themselves are the same. It's just the sign between the TF local position and the new vector that's changed. So for your positive y-axis, it's a plus. For your negative y-axis, it's a minus. And that pattern continues on for your negative x-axis and your positive x-axis. For your left, it's negative. For your right, it's positive. And down here we have pretty much the identical code, except of course we've used the get key instead of the get down key. So while one of the directional keys is pressed, it will continue proceeding in that direction until such a time as the key is released, which can, as was shown by the gameplay footage itself, end up with a shift thousands of units away in a couple heartbeats. Um, the if input get down key space, I chose to use a get down key for space because it kind of seems like one of those things you don't want updating every single loop. But the functionality's in there, and all it does is it resets the transform for the microchip back to origin, or 000 of XYZ. After that, this is actually outside of the can move ship. Hitting the escape key will quit the application, and this is also out. Hitting the Q key will set the microchip game object itself to inactive, which is triggered by setting it to false. The converse would be setting it to true, which is the game object's default state unless otherwise implicitly done, and it'll disable it. So that pretty much concludes it.